up, everybody? Welcome to the iProv vlog. Jordan Smith, VP of Sales and Marketing with iProv. And as always, I've got Patrick Laughlin with me. What's up, Pat?
What's up, Joe? How are you today?
I'm good. We are getting closer to 50, aren't we?
Yeah, we're getting really, really close.
Oh my gosh. All right, 50 of them. We're going to have to do something special. Hey, today we want to talk about something. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor results. Say that 6 times fast. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor results. 6 P's.
Yeah, this is 6 P's and an R, Joe. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor results. If you've ever been around anybody that spent any time in the military, you'll hear this at least once.
No, I love this concept. We talk about it all the time, which is there are no projects without a plan or a process. So talk about kind of this concept and how we use it in our office.
Well, and I think specifically, operating without a plan is very demotivating to the people that you're asking to execute the plan, right? And a leader's job is just to plan. Where are we going? How do we think we're going to get there? What are the steps that we think we'll need to take? It's not necessarily their job to do all those steps. And especially if you're asking other people to do them, you better have a plan for all those things and lots of things in between, right? If you look at some recent employment studies, like 48% of employees worldwide don't even like their job. 80% of U.S. workers feel stressed at the office. Well, that's just U.S. work life, right? But only 30% feel engaged and inspired by their careers. That to me is so depressing, right?
Yeah, because you spend more time doing this than you do anything else.
Yeah, work and sleep. That's what most people spend their life doing.
Yeah, 16 to 20 hours for sure. And sometimes this thing kind of rears its head in ways that you don't typically expect. So like lack of progress. Boredom, you just see kind of culture pointing in the wrong direction. A lot of times people will try to plug those holes with different things besides trying to step back and say, well, maybe this is kind of we don't have a process for all this stuff. And that's why people are getting frustrated, right?
Yeah.
There's no plan.
Yeah. There's lots of ways this sort of manifests itself. And you named a couple of them. Some other sort of really common ways that you can sort of know that a leader doesn't have a plan is, micromanagement. If you've got to be on top of your team and just into every little thing that they're doing and how they're doing it all the time, it's pretty obvious that you're not managing from a plan. And ultimately that leads to unpleasant coworkers, which leads to that bad culture that you talked about. If you're not empowering your people, they're going to get bored really quickly. Once they're bored, you've lost them. There is no motivation and you aren't going to make progress. But it's honestly pretty easy to fix. And there's 4 more P's to fix it, right, Joe?
Well, yeah, more P's: purpose, planning, participation, praise.
Yeah,
right?
I think that you sort of fix a lot of the woes that come from not planning with these 4 P's. If you have a purpose, that makes it a whole lot easier to build a plan, to get people participating in executing that plan, and gives you an opportunity to praise their participation, which, time and time again is what, the studies say employees want, that gets them engaged, is that sort of positive feedback loop, that good habit loop. People need a vision to work toward. They have to have that sort of guiding purpose to rally behind. They also need a plan. And I know that there are lots of leaders out there that are not great planners. The good news is there are lots of great consultants out there that can help you build a plan as long as you have that purpose. You started your business or you got to the level that you are because you had a vision for what success could look like. If you're not a planner, if you're not good at sort of figuring out how to execute on that vision, find somebody who is. Hire an integrator internally or or find a consultant that can turn your vision into something executable.
Yeah, no, everybody wants to know what they are working towards.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, we've all been a part of or heard horror stories from organizations where you walked in and, the direction changed completely from what it was last week. Put a plan in place and give yourself and your employees time to be able to execute on that plan. But you're right. It's got to start with that vision and communicating that vision. Sometimes part of that planning process or building the plan is a collaborative process. You don't have to do it all by yourself.
Yeah, and I think that there is an appropriate time for participation. But I think that if you ask for participation without a purpose and without some rough idea of a plan, then you've got the definition of a camel creating committee. Everybody knows the story that a camel is a horse created by a committee. The truth is a camel is a horse created by a committee that had no purpose or plan. They got around and started throwing ideas up against the wall to see what stuck. Once you sort of have that purpose and you've at least got a rough idea of that plan, then you can ask for participation. To get people engaged, you have to listen to what they have to say. Their opinion and their ideas matter, especially when they are focused around that sort of central purpose. Get as many hands involved as possible at that point, especially when you're in the steps process, right? Maybe not so much from the strategy perspective, but when it comes down to how do we achieve this purpose, that's a good time to get subject matter experts in there. Get people that understand some of the platforms you might use and more involved. That is a perfect time to sort of democratize the inputs, right? The other part of that too is it allows others to align their destination with your destination, and that is when real magic happens. That to me is when participation is appropriate and really encouraged.
And then that last thing that you talked about, that feedback loop, making sure that there's ample room and even a process for praise, for making sure that you are providing a proper reward system to employees. Just because you don't like pats on the back doesn't mean that your team doesn't, right? Just because you don't like public recognition does not mean that it's not important for somebody on your team or that's their specific love language and that's the way they like to see feedback. So figure out the proper way to deliver praise and let everybody know whenever there's wins towards that purpose in your organization is vitally important.
Yeah, and I'm very guilty of this. Like I am not one to celebrate my own accomplishments, and therefore I'm horrible at sort of doling out praise that feels really authentic. But the truth is, I sort of have to tell myself, hey, listen, you've got to be enthusiastic about this, and you have to do it in a way that person knows that you're praising them. It's not just sort of hollow or shallow words, that you truly appreciate what they're doing. And maybe that isn't just a pat on the back. Maybe that is some sort of reward that they've been sort of asking for, or something that that will benefit them in the long run. But you have to figure out a way to praise in your authentic voice, whatever that is, and make sure that they know that is praise.
Absolutely. So if you're out there listening and you're leading a company, you're leading a team, even if you're on your own and you're trying to do something, remember those steps. What's your purpose, right? Have you defined it? If you have, that's great. Now what's the plan, right? How are you going to get there? A goal without a plan is just a dream. So what is the plan that's going to help you get to your purpose? Participation. Who do you need involved to be able to help you achieve that goal? And if you've got others on your team, if you're lucky enough to have team members or some people that are helping out with what your purpose is, get them involved. Get them participating in in the plan even sometimes. And then the last thing, praise. Again, if you've got a team, make sure you deliver it. If you're doing it on your own and you're out there trying to start something yourself, give yourself small wins, pat yourself on the back. Find some process for delivering or at least talking about and celebrating those wins, no matter how small they are, if they are helping you get closer to that purpose, to that why.
Yeah, this shit's too hard not to find some sort of positivity in it daily.
Oh, for sure. All right. Purpose, plan, participation, praise, proper prior planning prevents piss poor results. That is tough. All right. Thanks, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment. 2 more P's. Peace, peeps.